here it's Tennessee, so we're gonna get the best guys here. That's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. Nobody has a spot, nobody's comfortable. We're all working to get better.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Yesterday, four-star wide receiver Devin Hyatt drops his top four. You can see right there on the screen, Tennessee in the mix. He is the little brother of Jalen Hyatt. He's out of IMG Academy. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about his recruitment. I want to talk just a little bit about the recruiting board for the wide receiver room and what we're losing versus what is coming back next year. It is a tight window for who's going to be able to get in, where you fit in. It starts with Nico, the commitment of Nico Maliava. Go back to the VAWLS Jones Jr. quote, who wouldn't want to play wide receiver in Josh Heupel's offense? I think Rocky Top is becoming the destination for premier wide receivers all across the country. Are we seeing the return of wide receiver U? We're going to get into it, talk about it. As always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. It helps the channel. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we're not trying to pretend to be something we are not. We are fans just like you. So if you enjoy what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Quick little scheduling note. Saturday night, 5 p.m., bonus NCAA 13 stream. You guys asked for it, so we're going to do it. We're going to play a little NCAA 13 Saturday night, 5 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll talk a little Vol football, maybe some baseball, recruiting, whatever you guys want to get into. You guys know the catchphrase by now. For the fans, by the fans. The boys over at Volunteer Utility Services are fans just like you and I. They handle all commercial and residential excavation needs, utilities, septic tanks, irrigation installs, dog fences, and more. They also do landscaping, masonry, concrete work, and junk removal. Give them a call, 865-320-6194. That's 865-320-6194. Or check them out on social media. I'll drop the links to that in the description below. For the fans, by the fans. Show some love for not only an East Tennessee local business, but also a member of the Talkin VAWLS family. Volunteer Utility Services. Easiest way to do this is just take a look at this article from allfortennessee.com. Tennessee football makes the cut for elite. There's that word again. Why does the word elite keep popping up everywhere when it comes to Tennessee football? If you want to be elite, hit that join button down below. Join the channel as little as 99 cents a month. But again, there's that word. Tennessee football makes the cut for elite. 2023 wide receiver Devin Hyatt, little brother of Jalen Hyatt. Says right here, Josh Heupel's system is attractive to wide receivers who used to coach in Florida. He used to coach in Florida. As a result, it makes sense for Tennessee football to trend for elite Florida receivers, particularly ones who are related to receivers currently on the team. That's the case right now with Devin Hyatt, the brother of current UT wide receiver Jalen Hyatt. He has the VAWLS in his top four, a 4-star on Rivals and ESPN, but a 3-star on 24/7 Sports and On 3. Hyatt stands between 6'1 and 6'2 while weighing in the range of 175 to 195. Joining Tennessee football on Hyatt's list are Alabama, South Carolina, and Georgia, a member of the noted IMG Academy. Out of Florida, Hyatt announced his list Wednesday afternoon on Twitter. Now, when you look at his top four, and we're going to call a spade, we're just going to shoot straight here. Is Devin Hyatt a take? And I mentioned this couple of months ago. It really kind of came up when Kyler Casper was trending to Tennessee. We saw what happened there. He ends up at Oregon. But when you look at the recruiting board, specifically for the wide receiver room, there are tiers. And at the top of that list, you had Kyler Casper, Carnell Tate, and Noah Rogers. Those were three guys that Tennessee was really targeting. Now, as far as Carnell Tate, I think Tennessee sits well with Carnell Tate, the 5-star, also out of IMG Academy. Ohio State put on some steam, but I think Tennessee is out front. If you look at the On3 recruiting prediction machine, Tennessee's still sitting at 60.2%. And if you look all over social media, of course, he's going to throw some love to Ohio State, but there's a lot of orange. And when Devin Hyatt dropped this list, one of you guys posted on the Talkin VAWLS page basically showing Instagram, you've got Nico showing love in the comments, but also Carnell Tate with the big orange. So I think Tennessee sits well with Carnell Tate, but again, when you look at that top tier, another name in the mix is Noah Rogers. He's 6'2", 280 pounds out of North Carolina. He is a 4-star wide receiver, but I don't think Tennessee ever really got momentum with Noah Rogers. So when you're looking at the tiers, when you're looking at the recruiting board, and you've got Casper and Rogers both up there at the top, but obviously Casper ends up at Oregon. Noah Rogers, highly predicted to Ohio State. So I really think Devin Hyatt at this point is a take for Tennessee. Now, what's the big question? Why wouldn't Tennessee take Devin Hyatt? Well, when you look at his scouting report, there's just not much there. And a lot of that is because he transferred to IMG in 2021, and he was beat up. He was banged up, didn't really get a full healthy season. He had a groin hip flexor type injury, so really not a lot there production-wise. You go back to his sophomore year, 2020, he only played in 9 games, caught 13 passes for 228 yards. So according to Austin Price over at VAWLS.com, it sounds like this coaching staff is still evaluating Devin Hyatt. And what does that mean? Well, the IMG spring game coming up, Austin Price basically said they're going to be watching that. They're going to be keeping an eye on that. But when I look at the recruiting board, I think at this point, Devin Hyatt is going to be a take. We'll get back into that recruiting here in just a moment. The article goes on to talk about before going to Florida, he was out of South Carolina. His brother came out of Dutch Fork High School, where Bryce Thompson came out as an athlete in 2018. Says, given his size, Hyatt appears to have a similar profile to his brother. He'd certainly be a great pickup for Rocky Top, but fighting off Alabama, Georgia, and his home state could be difficult. The connections with Heupel and his brother should help. Again, going back to whether or not Devin Hyatt is a take at Tennessee, again, quoting Austin Price, doesn't think Bama would take him at this point. Says Georgia may take him because they are struggling to recruit wide receivers because they run the football and use the tight end so much. Again, this is coming straight from Austin Price. USC, I think he's definitely a take. So when you look at it, to me, Devin Hyatt, it comes down to South Carolina and Tennessee. Right now, the on-3 prediction machine has South Carolina out front at 47.9%. And again, I wonder how much of that is just waiting to see how hard Tennessee pursues. Says also, if he is similar to Jalen Hyatt and his style of play, his potential is through the roof. Taking all of that into account, he would be a huge pickup for the Vols no matter how loaded they are at wide receiver. Currently no favorites to land Hyatt on Rivals Futurecast, no crystal balls, nothing of that nature. But as I just mentioned, it does show South Carolina out front at the on-3 prediction machine. So what I want to talk about is, first and foremost, how many wide receivers is Josh Heupel going to take in this class? Because when you look at the wide receiver room this year, the only upperclassmen, you've got Cedric Tillman and Ramel Keaton as your seniors that are going to graduate. And then you've got Brew McCoy coming in. You're still recruiting Jalen Robinson out of Central Florida, although that one likely trending towards Miami at this point. But really, you're only losing 2 guys. And we keep talking about the young wide receivers, the Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday, Jimmy Callaway. Those guys are no longer the young wide receivers. They are now your upperclassmen, but all 3 will return next year. You've got Walker Merrill, and then look what Josh Heupel added in the class of 22. I think sometimes we get so excited about names like Carnell Tate that we forget about the Squirrel Whites, the Chaz Nimrods, the Caleb Webbs, and the Cam Millers. There is some talent, young talent, in that wide receiver room that is going to also be returning next year. So if you're only losing 2, how many names, how many guys are you actually looking to add? You've also already got Nate Spillman committed in the class of 23, 3-star wide receiver out of Lipscomb Academy in Nashville, Tennessee. So if you're really pushing all in on Carnell Tate, again, like where Tennessee sits there, that's 2 wide receivers. Then you've got Devin Hyatt. If he is a take, you're now up to 3. Tennessee is also recruiting Shamar Porter. He is a 4-star wide receiver out of Nashville, currently committed to Tennessee, currently committed to Kentucky, but Tennessee also looking to flip him as well. Another name worth noting, Justin Brown, 4-star wide receiver out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Again, talented in-state kids that Tennessee is in pursuit of, but it's going to be interesting to me to see just how many wide receivers that Josh Heupel elects to take. But again, talk about the momentum of recruiting and stacking recruiting classes. That's the good problem to have. Nothing against those young wide receivers. All 4 of those guys have a ton of potential. Cam Miller, Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb, and Squirrel White. But if you recruit over them, and you make them work, competition breeds success. It's like the clip I played at the start of the video from Devin Hyatt. Everybody competes, nobody spots safe, and that's how you turn this football team around. But hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Devin Hyatt is a take? Where do you think Tennessee sits? Also, go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. There's that word elite again. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS Elite merch. But also, we've got the old favorites, the logo merch, but we got the brand new Beat Bama. Who doesn't want to rock a Beat Bama shirt when Josh Heupel dethrones Nick Saban and takes over the SEC for good? Who doesn't want to be rocking that Beat Bama shirt? We all hate Florida. We all hate Georgia. Go check out the merchandise again, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That's going to do it for this one. Make sure you smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Hope to see you guys in the chat Saturday night, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, for NCAA 2013. But that's going to do it. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.